Hi everybody, we are back with the book Living Spring, and it is through the medium Chikashavir and by the Spirit Emmanuel. We're at chapter 6 today. Today's chapter is Accept the Correction. It is true that no discipline seems pleasant at the time. It seems painful. Later on, however, it produces the peaceable fruit of righteousness for those who have been trained by it. And it's by Paul in Hebrews 12 verses 11. The soil is lacered and torn under the pressure of the plough. However, it is not long until beautiful flowers and delicious fruits burst forth from the straightened furrows. When pruned, the tree loses a lot of sap, becoming undernourished and ugly. However, in just a few weeks, it acquires new robustness, manifesting beautiful abundance. The humble water leaves the comfort of the spring, undergoes the demands of movement, reaches the great river, and then shares in the grandeur of the sea. What occurs in the simple sphere of nature also occurs in the complex realm of the soul. A correction is always hard, unpleasant, and bitter, but for those who accept its instructions, it always results in the blessed fruit of experience, knowledge, understanding, and righteousness. The soil, the tree, and the water must bear correction because they have no choice in the matter. But the human being, the champion of intelligence on the planet, is free to accept it and harbor it in his or her heart. Hence, the problem of personal happiness will never be resolved by avoiding the reparative process. Heavenly correction is obvious in every corner of the world. However, very few accept its blessings because most of the time such a gift does not come wrapped in ermine, and when raised to the lips, it does not taste like candy. It is clothed in thorns or mixed with gall under the guise of curative and salutary medicine. Therefore, do not waste your precious opportunities for improvement. Toil and struggle, pain and obstacles are means of purification that we should make use of. If we look at where we are at in this time on earth, we would see that the whole earth is going through a transformation, a resurrection. And I found this, and I think every one of us know that in the Gospel according to Spiritism, affliction, blessed are the afflicted, by Allan Kardec. And I just want to get the right page here. Blessed are the afflicted. And in the beginning of this chapter, it says the justice of affliction, the current cause of affliction. And I think in this time, most of us are going through some kind of affliction. Affliction only because it is a purification, like Emmanuel describes, for us to let go of things. So during this epidemic that we are going through, a lot of things have changed for most of us. The way that the things we used to do, we can't do anymore. There is fear of illnesses and a lot of things happening for a lot of people. But this is trials only for us to change the way that we look at things. to see things in another way. And like Emmanuel said in this chapter, let me just go back to the right page here. He says, toils and struggle, pain and obstacles are means of purification that we should make use of. So Emmanuel is asking us to make use of the struggles and the afflictions that we are going through at this time, the corrections as he describes it. We should make use of these corrections. And to do that, again, we can go back to the Spirit's book in question 919, where Allan Kardec tells us that it is through knowing ourselves, to know our feelings, know our thoughts about things, about situations, about where we are at, is to change that feeling and to change that situation into the good. Because that is what Spiritism is. That is what Jesus brought us through Spiritism. And I'm going to read you a passage in the Gospel according to Spiritism. Blessed are the affliction is the chapter, and it's on page 96 of the Gospel according to Spiritism. It says here, therefore, the vicissitude of life have a cause, and since God is just, that cause must also be just. This is what everyone must understand very well. By means of Jesus' teachings, God has placed humans on the path towards that cause. And today, having deemed them sufficiently mature to understand it, God has revealed it entirely through Spiritism, through the voice of the spirits, like Emmanuel. And what Allan Kardec is telling us here is that justice of affliction, it is for us, it is actually the way that God is just to help us to change, to help us to be purified to correct us. So it is beautiful and it is loving if we read and if we look at it like that. And it's for us to concentrate on the good things, and not on the bad things. There's another passage that I wanted to read, also in the book, the Gospel according to Spiritism. It says with these words, blessed are the afflicted, for they shall be consoled. Jesus indicates simultaneously the compensation that awaits those who suffer, and the resignation that leads one to bless suffering as a prelude to healing. It means if we think we are going through a hard time, it is because we are at a time that we need to let go of things. So the question here is, what can I let go of? What should I focus on? Which means that we should focus on everything that is good, everything that is pure. And the next one that I wanted to read is, these words could also be translated like this: you should consider yourself fortunate to suffer. Allan Kardec says in the Gospel according to Spiritism, because your pains is in this world are the depth of your wrong, your past wrongs, and these pains, if borne patiently while you are on earth, will save you from centuries of suffering in the future life. Hence, you should be happy because God has reduced your debt by permitting you to repay it now, which will guarantee you tranquility for the future. Which means that if we are suffering, that is what the word blessed are the afflicted means. It is because God is working on us. If our life would be too good, nothing happening, then we are stagnated. So when things come, it is things that God shows us to change, not on the outside, but on the inside of each and every one of us. And Emmanuel has put it beautifully in this chapter, accept the correction. Beautifully. And the Apostle Paul as well. It is true that no discipline is pleasant. It is not pleasant to go through these things. At the time, it seems painful. Later on, however, it produces a peaceable fruit of righteousness for those who have been trained by it. Will we be trained by our afflictions, or will we get upset about it? And that is the questions that we all can ask ourselves. Are we going to accept this and say thank you? Because it is said that we should say thank you. Emmanuel said, be happy about this. Be happy about the corrections. Because that means that God is working and helping us to change ourselves. And it's a soul change. So if we need to let go of things, then accept that and say thank you. If something is hard, let's say thank you. Thank you for the correction. Thank you for the lesson. So instead of getting upset about something or going into fear, let's be thankful. Let's be thankful, because that means that we are worth and we are loved by God for these corrections. I thank you so much for lending me your ears, and let's work on this together, especially in these times. We are so thankful for Kodak Radio and all the wonderful hosts that brings us so many messages to uplift our souls, for us to listen to and to focus on the good, because through Kodak Radio we nourish our souls. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.